Of testing, so we're just about to go into the race weekend. I guess first of all, how's things going on the truck?
Yeah, fantastic day so far actually. We were here testing yesterday a bit more in the dry. Today's been very variable with the weather conditions, but all the drivers are showing not only good improvements but actually very, very good pace, particularly in the 420 and 270 classes. So I've been looking after some of the guys in those classes, and yeah, some fantastic lap times and looking very strong for the weekend, I'd say.
You've just come back from Spa, had a good 24 hours, went well for you?
Yeah, I was competing in the 24-hour, Spa 24-hour with Blancpain Championship, which is fantastic. So we actually finished second in class, which was awesome achievement. And in fact, actually, the package here that DPR have is on a similar level to what you see in the GT sort of GT paddocks these days. The professionalism in the DPR team is fantastic. Every smaller, finer detail is looked into, and I think as a whole it's a great environment to be in. I think what we have to always bear in mind is you spend a lot of time out of the car, so it's just as important to make sure that the time out of the car is as good as being in the car and enjoying the time that you're actually driving around the track.
So give us an idea, so a race weekend from your point of view then, you turn up on say Wednesday evening, say Thursday morning, and run through what your race weekend might look like.
So throughout the testing we're making sure the setup's correct, so I'll jump in the car a couple of times throughout the day in various cars, making sure that their cars are set up correctly for the conditions. You know, every day is slightly different at the track, with temperatures, wind directions and stuff.
That's great. I mean, that's great from a driver's perspective, in that if you are completely solo, you've not got any of that expertise or experience to draw from. You know, if your car's underperforming, having the team it means that you know it.
Yeah, we have some occasions where the car might not be doing quite the right thing, but that particular driver is only used to driving their own car. I'm jumping in between cars all the time, so I know what's right and what's wrong, and I know how to extract the most out of the car in any of the conditions. So it's important for me to jump in sometimes and just give the driver that added confidence in the car that either it is doing the right thing or it's not. Sometimes we find that the car isn't handling correctly, and it wasn't down to them that their lap time wasn't there. I'll get them to adjust the setup, and they can improve their lap times from there. All the data comes in from the cars, goes onto our media centre. Once it's in the media centre, any of the drivers can compare their lap times against someone else in the same class, in the same team. So if they're worried about, you know, how am I getting on in comparison to someone else in the team, am I driving fast enough in comparison to not only my lap time but other people that they're racing against, they can see any of that. So a lot of time I'll compare my lap versus 2 or 3 drivers at a time, and you can really see the differences where some people might be getting certain areas correct, other people are getting other areas correct, and we can start to get them to combine those, and as a whole, as a group, we can get everyone to improve dramatically throughout the testing, which then obviously leads into qualifying. So all the testing is all about trying to get drivers prepared for that ultimate lap. Once we've done that ultimate lap and we've hopefully qualified towards the front, doesn't always go that way, but yeah, we'll get them as best we can up the front with the coaching and the setup. Obviously, we have to feed them correctly as well. That's the important part of the things. And then we're into the racing. So we'll switch things a little bit then. We still review all the data, but more so go through not only their fastest lap, but we'll start to look at the whole race they've done. Anything from the way they prepare before the race start, the way they get off the line, how they overtake, how they defend, how consistent they are. There's a lot to go through. So I look at a lot of race footage, and I can give them, you know, advice on my own experience over the last 25 years of racing, where what I would have done in a similar situation, whether they might have done the right thing or the wrong thing, but the racecraft's all about experience. So if I can give them as much experience or knowledge from my experience to help them into their next race, then hopefully it will help them either get more towards the front or stay towards the front.